big shout out to HTK Bass Player for bringing this to my attention. I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent. I had no idea this project was even a thing. But let's set the scene. I think this is very important, very, very important. When you do stuff that is independent and not the traditional way in comic books, there is going to be things that go right and there are going to be some things that go wrong. And depending on how that goes, your project may be pushed back, pushed forward, whatever it is, it happens. Now, one of the negative things, be it with even myself, remember, like, we had to account for like fucking 4 times more books than what we initially had, which mean that we had like a few weeks that we had to wait before we started our fulfillment, and you had these weirdos that were part of the industry, all late books, yada, yada, yada. Never mind the fact that Marvel and DC, and I covered this, they're late all the time on certain material, but it's okay for them to do it. But here we have another example. This flew under the damn radar, and the reason why is because they couldn't tie it to folks like myself. They couldn't tie it to the other guys on the other side of the comic book space, comics gators and stuff like this. When here we have yet another example. This is the only one of exactly that. Donny Cates, who's and Grant Morris. These guys are some of the biggest names in comic books right now. They do a lot of stuff for the mainstream. We covered Donny Cates, his store, and all that stuff when I was even still reading Marvel related material. And oftentimes this happens. These guys don't have a draw like that. It's just the reality. This isn't me being cocky. I'm just giving it to you straight. We've seen it happen. A lot of these guys try to do their own independent work, detach from Marvel and DC, and it doesn't really do that well, right? You're not really the draw. No matter the audience that a lot of people have catered to aren't really people that are interested in their work. They're only interested in it when you can have it tied to some, you know, big character, right? Like Batman, Venom for Donny Cates, Thor. Like, that's the only time that they can actually do that. But apparently, and shout out to the Bleeding Fool, not the Bleeding Asshole over at the Bleeding Cool with Dick Dixon. They've covered and they've brought up this, a couple of, you can go read this article. It's titled, Grant Morrison and Donny Cates Kickstarter now is nearly 2 years late. So all of that stuff that people talk about that happens to folks on our side of the aisle, they're doing the same thing, and it's flying under the radar, right? Y'all ain't going to go raid their mentions and talk, oh, late books, late books. So I went to go check it out. It's called a Tomahawk. Y'all ain't even got an update in half a year. Granted, it only has 326 backers, this particular Kickstarter. I mean, we had over 49,000. Never mind that. Never mind that. This isn't about comparing us to you know, in terms of sales, even though, you know, we did have way more than 326 people that actually purchased. Not trying to flex here. I'm just throwing that out there, that the industry veteran these industry vets only got 326. Anyway, so I went and looked at this, and some people are mad. So we finally got some press coverage, and the press coverage had to come to the people that aren't on their side generally, and that was coming from the Bleeding Fool. They're disappointed. I dropped $360 of my hard-earned dollars to back this project with no update since June and no reply. Donny Cates should be getting grilled right now. This is the first that I've even heard of this being a thing, and it goes to show that these folks, definitely these weirdos on Twitter, they are very selective in what it is. They try to make it seem like folks on our side are the grifters. We're the one swindling everybody, even though I just gave you a project. People bought it, and I actually delivered on it. We're swindling people. We're grifting. These cats ain't gave you an update in half a year, bro. They done got away with the loot. They got away with the loot. What's going on with this project? They got away with the loot. Another month, another check of this project. This was a month ago. No updates in sight. They ain't even keeping that. This grifting. That's it. Because grifting is not, guy that I don't like being successful. That's how leftists use it, but that's not what it means. It's petty swindling, essentially. That's what this is. They got away with the loot so far. I'm not saying that it ain't gonna ever come out. I'm just saying right now, these fools ain't even updated y'all. This should be a bigger story. It's not. And you know why? Because you have guys, particularly Donnie Cates. It looks like, according to the actual campaign, Grant Morrison was, I guess, a later addition right here. Update from the universe of flesh to one of the greatest creative minds of our generation. The latest comic book anthology to the Tomahawk universe features a face-melting, no fucks given story written by Grant Morrison. So I'm guessing he was a late addition. They have other stuff. It's toys and all sorts of stuff that they've done promised. You ain't got now nothing. Now nothing. Jack Diddley, in other words, is what you got. No updates. I did get a message. I'm going to pull this up. Going to Reddit, where all the high concentration of this. Remember, this is our comic books. Isn't this make no mistake, isn't this the biggest comic book Reddit forum that has us banned? You can't talk about the Riververse without getting banned because they say, which is libelous or slanderous, depending on what way you put it. We're, what they say, part of a hate group, they said. So you can't post about the Riververse. Some guy posted, Donnie Cates says this Kickstarter, this was 5 months ago, now admits it's going to be 20 plus months overdue. Oh, they will give him a benefit of the doubt. Man, Cates has so much going on. This is not surprising at all. What? My first project, I was not offered. All I did was take a few weeks, right? Because we thought we were only going to sell initially like 12,000 copies, and that ended up being like over 60,000. So my entire everything that I purchased had to get front loaded, which pushed the fulfillment back a few weeks, and they wasn't giving me no benefit of the doubt. None. I didn't get now, bro. He's late. There you go. There those guys go swindling or grifting again. Late. The book's never going to come out. It's not finished. Unfinished projects. Oh, poor Donnie Cates has so much going on. Poor Donnie Cates. Unbelievable. What's up, babe? Wife has entered in the middle of the video. They can't see you yet. Now they can. Huh? It's going good. What? Should I give you a kiss for the haters? I mean, you could. Donnie Cates is late. I don't know. Is Donnie Cates married? That's not really relevant to the story at all. But he does have pink hair now. Finish your project. And to all of you chicken shits out there, who go at folks like myself, you go at folks that have been in the Comics Gate stuff because you say that projects are so late. The fact that you don't have the same energy towards these mainstream cats doing the same thing. There's other guys that have we've covered on this channel, right? That have promised these expansive universes that haven't delivered yet on like anything. They get to do that, but you come at us because you nitpick and you need to find something wrong. We know that you were full of crap. The fact that this is flying under the radar, oh boy, is unbelievable. Wherever you're viewing the content, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, you may be interested in my comic book company, Rippaverse Comics. Our first book and campaign, ISOM #1, brought in $3.7 million with tens of thousands of satisfied customers. Visit Rippaverse.com to check out our store and stay up to date with the latest campaigns from one of the hottest new comic book companies. Also, my first big step towards a parallel economy was the development of my personal website, ericdjuly.com. This entirely replaced my Patreon. Now, if you enjoy this content, please consider becoming a member over at the website. We have an ever-expanding list of perks for various membership tiers, a forum, and a phone app. Some of these perks will even benefit you if you're fans of the Rippaverse. Anyway, I appreciate you so much for being a supporter and or customer. I even got a little love for my haters.